basic concept of organic chemistry, in which I will tell you about the type of bond present in the organic compounds. The covalent bonds consist of sigma bond and pi bond. Sigma bonds are formed by the overlapping of the orbitals on the internuclear axis. Pi bond is formed by the sidewise overlapping of the p orbitals, not on the internuclear axis. Pi bonds are present in the alkene and alkyne. In alkyne, there are 2 pi bonds and 1 sigma bond is present. In alkane, there is only sigma bonds are present. Now, the sigma bonds, the cleavage of sigma bonds will be of the 2 types. One that is known as the homolytic cleavage, another is known as the heterolytic cleavage. Homolytic cleavage takes place in the sigma bond when there is a bond in between the 2 atoms of the same electronegativity. For example, carbon and hydrogen, they are same electronegativity. Chlorine and chlorine has the same electronegativity. So these are the non-polar covalent bonds, and the cleavage of this non-polar covalent bonds called the homolytic cleavage, and this cleavage will form the free radical. This will cause the formation of free radical because the shared pair of electrons is in the center. The cleavage will be here. One electron will go to this atom, one electron will go to this atom, and these are known as the free radical. So in homolytic cleavage, free radicals are formed, and the homolytic cleavage is possible only in the non-polar covalent bond. The shared pair of electron which forms the sigma bond remains in the center of the 2 nuclei. Then the heterolytic cleavage. Heterolytic cleavage will take place in between the sigma bond when there is a formation of sigma bond in between the 2 different electronegative atoms. The shared pair of electrons which forming the sigma bond, they shift towards the more electronegative, then the less electron, and the cleavage of this will form the ions. One will be the nucleophile, other will be the electrophile. So this is called homolytic cleavage which forms the ions, and homolytic cleavage is possible in between the 2 atoms of different electronegativity. This is called polar covalent bond. This is called non-polar covalent bond. So sigma bonds are classified into polar covalent bond and non-polar covalent bond. Non-polar covalent bond cause the heterolytic cleavage. This will cause the homolytic cleavage. Homolytic cleavage forms the free radicals, and the homolytic cleavage causes the formation of electrophile and nucleophile. One thing more in the sigma bond, there is inductive effect. There is a inductive effect. If suppose different atoms are attached with the sigma bonds to each other, and a group other than carbon is attached to the chain of carbon atom, if it is more electronegative, it will attract the shared pair of electron towards its side, and all the shared pair of electron will be shifting, and it will cause the appearance of small positive and small negative. The value of the charge depends upon the difference of electronegativity. This will also be the positive, this will also be the positive, this will also be the positive, this will also be. But the value of the charge goes on decreasing as we go away from this group, and this is called minus I effect, minus inductive effect. Suppose this is an electron withdrawing group, electron withdrawing group which withdraw the electron towards its side. If suppose this group which is attached to the chain of carbon atom is electron releasing group or electron repelling group which repels the electron, then it will repel the electron. This will be negative, it will be negative, it will be negative, it will be negative, it will be negative, and this value of the charge again goes on decreasing as we move away from the group, and this is called the positive I effect. So inductive effect and the minus I and plus I effect will depend upon the nature of the group attached to the chain of carbon atoms. On the carbon atom there will be positive charge if there is a minus I effect, if it is electron withdrawing group is attached. It is a plus I effect when there is electron repelling group is attached. So this inductive effect takes place in the sigma bonds, or you can say the non-polar covalent bonds. Then I come to the electromeric effect. Electromeric effect is shown by the shifting of pi electrons. If there is an electron withdrawing group is attached, then shifting of the pi electron will take place, not the sigma electrons. Only the pi. Double bond consists of one sigma bond and another pi bond. Only the pi bond is formed by the pi electrons. So pi electron will shift. So this will be called as minus E effect. If this group is a electron releasing group, the pi electron will shift to this side and it will called as plus E effect. So electromeric effect will be shown by the compound which consists of the pi electrons, and inductive effect will be shown by those which are consist of shifting of sigma electrons. So sigma electrons and pi electrons. This is inductive effect and electromeric effect. One more is there, that is a mesomeric effect or resonance effect, which will I will teach you later on. So this type of effect takes place when there is a covalent bond of the type sigma or pi bond is present in the organic compound. Now, as I told you, the homolytic cleavage forms the free radical, the heterolytic cleavage forms the ions. Now I will come to the free radical. Carbonium ion and carbocation. In the organic chemistry, when the carbon carries the unpaired electron attached with 3 hydrogen atoms, carbon carries the unpaired electron attached with 2 hydrogen atoms. R are the alkyl groups, maybe methyl, ethyl, propyl, etc. This type of free radical is called methyl free radical. This is the primary free radical. This is the secondary free radical. This is the tertiary free radical. Now I come to the stability of this. These free radicals are very much unstable. They are very highly reactive. The free radical is unstable because of the unpaired electron present on the carbon, and this is a electron deficient. Alkyl group is the electron releasing group. Why it is electron releasing group? I will tell you. Suppose I take the methyl. This carbon is sp3 hybridized. This carbon is sp2 hybridized. sp2 hybridized is more electronegative than sp3. So shifting of electron will take place like this. So this alkyl group will shift the shared pair of electron towards this carbon, and the deficiency of the electron on this carbon will decrease. So it will become more stable than this, it will be more stable than this, it will be more stable than this. Remember, tertiary free radical is always more stable than secondary, is more stable than primary, is more stable than methyl. Similarly, I come to the carbonium ion. Carbonium ion, carbon carries the positive charge. Again, it is electron deficient. Again, we classify this into the 4. One, that is methyl carbon ion, then the primary carbon ion, then the secondary carbon ion, and then the third carbon ion, tertiary carbon ion. Because it is electron deficient, it is again sp2 hybridized, this sp3 hybridized. Again the shifting of electron will take place. It will become more stable than this, it will be more stable than this, it is more stable than this. So tertiary carbonium ion is more stable than secondary, is more stable than primary, more stable than methyl. But reverse is the case in the carbocation. Carbocation are the carbon carries the negative charge. Again it is classified into 4. Methyl carbocation, primary carbocation, secondary carbocation, and tertiary carbocation. And the electron density is high on the carbon, so it is unstable. If R repel the electron towards this, it will become less stable. So this will be less stable than this, it will be less stable than this, it will be less stable than this. So methyl carbocation is more stable than primary, is more stable than secondary, is more stable than tertiary. So these type of radical and ions will be formed in the organic reactions. So you have to remember that which type of this is more stable and which type is less stable. Now as I told you, the free radicals, the electrophile and nucleophile. Free radical are those which carries the unpaired electron upon it. For example, the hydrogen atom, chlorine atom, although it consists of 7 electrons in the orthogonal orbit, but 1 electron is unpaired, so this is free radical. So all these are the free radicals. Free radicals are those atoms or group of atoms which consist of unpaired electrons in it. It is electron deficient, it is more reactive. And I told you the stability, tertiary free radical is more stable than secondary, is more stable than primary, is more stable than methyl. Electrophile is that which ion or the molecule which are electron deficient. All these are electrophile. These molecules or ions are electron deficient. It is electron deficient. Hydrogen atom consists of 1 electron. It has lost 1 electron. It do not have any electrons. It is in need of a pair of electrons to have the configuration that of helium. Chlorine has lost its electron. Now it has 6 electrons. It is in need of a pair of electrons to complete its octet, so it is electron deficient. This is also electron deficient. Carbon have 4 electrons, 3 electrons yet has shared with the hydrogen atoms. Now it has got 6 electrons, so it is in need of a pair of electrons, so it is an electrophile. These molecules are electron deficient. So those molecules or ions which are electron deficient are known as electrophile. And they are formed by the heterolytic cleavage of the covalent bond. I told you that the heterolytic cleavage forms the ions. A positively charged ion will be an electrophile. Now you tell me, what about the sodium positive? Is it an electrophile? No, because its octet is complete. Sodium has atomic number 11, it is 281, it has lost 1 electron. Now the outermost electron in the second orbit are 8 electrons. So its octet is complete, it is not in need of a pair of electrons, so it is not an electrophile. Anything positive charge cannot be electrophile. So I told you the electrophile is that molecule or ion which are electron deficient. It is not electron deficient. So it cannot be called as electrophile. These are known as electrophiles. So you must know that whether it is an electron deficient or not. Everything positively charged cannot be electrophile. What about NO2 positive? Whether it is an electrophile or not. Nitrogen has got the 5 electrons in it. 2 electrons it has shared with the oxygen, 2 electrons shared with this electron, and the 5th electron it has lost. So it is in need of a pair of electrons. So it will be an electrophile. So in this way, you have to see whether the molecule is electron deficient or not, it is electrophile or not. So in this way you can see. CH3, C, double bond O, positive charge. It is an electrophile. So nucleophile. Anything which have the electron density high. Electron density high, H negative. Although its octet is complete, but size is small, electrons are more, not more than the required, but it is in the required, but its electron density is high. Chlorine negative. Although it has got 8 electrons, but electron density is high. So any negatively charged ion will be an nucleophile. Sign negative. SO3 negative. R negative. All these are ammonia. Derivative of ammonia, RNS2. So any molecule which consists of a lone pair of electrons. Lone pair of electrons is that which has not taken part in the bond formation. These are the shared pair of electrons. Now one question I want to know, whether this in how many shared pair of electron and how many lone pair of electron are present in the sign. So your answer will be 2 to 4 to 6 are the shared pair of electron, and this is a lone pair of electron. So in any ion or any molecule, you can tell how many shared pair of electron, how many lone pair of electrons are there, how many pi electrons are there. If I ask this, CH2 negative, CH, double bond CH2. How many shared pair of electrons are present in this, and how many unpaired electrons are present in this, and how many pi electrons are present in it. So this is 2, 3, 5, 6 and 7. 7 are the shared pair of electrons. Yeah, or you can say bond pair of electrons. 1 is the 2 are the pi electrons, and these 2 are the one lone pair of electrons. So any molecular ion can be given to you, and it can be asked how many lone pair, how many pi electrons, how many sigma electrons. So you can tell by knowing its structure. So nucleophile is this. In this nucleophile, again I come to the stability of the carbocation. The carbocation CH3 negative, I told you the carbocation, this is more stable than this, is more stable than this. I already told you this, that the tertiary carbocation is less stable, and this is about the free radical, electrophile and nucleophile. Addition. Now I classify the organic reaction into 3. One, it is called addition reaction. Another, it will be substitution reaction. The third, there will be elimination reaction. Addition means addition of a reactant molecule to the another molecule to form the product. For example, CH2 double bond CH2. If I add to it the chlorine, it will form CH2Cl, CH2Cl. So this is an addition reaction, because addition of this molecule on this, addition of the HCl on it, it will be a CH3, CH2, Cl. So it is an addition. So these are called addition reactions. Now I classify the addition reaction into 3. Free radical addition, the electrophilic addition, and nucleophilic addition. Nucleophilic addition reaction are shown by the carbonyl compounds. This is shown by the alkene. This is also shown by the alkene. The necessary condition for the addition reaction is that the pi electron must be there. On pi electrons, because pi electrons are weakly attracted by the atoms, so they can be easily, cleavage can be take place, and addition is shown by this. The free radical addition, in case of electrophilic addition, if I take addition of the HCl. HCl consists of the polar covalent bond, so it will form the ions H positive and H negative on cleavage. The H positive being electrophile, chlorine negative is nucleophile. Electrophile is electrodeficient, which will attract the pair of electrons, and the addition of H will take place, and then the chlorine will take place, and it will form the CH3, CH2, Cl. So it is an electrophilic addition reaction. If I take another example of electrophilic addition, I can take the unsymmetrical alkene. Unsymmetrical alkene is that the double bond is present in between the two carbon atoms, to which the similar atoms are not attached, the different atoms are attached. So it is unsymmetrical alkene, this is symmetrical alkene. Now in this, if we add HCl, we have to follow the Markovnikov rule. According to the Markovnikov rule, chlorine will be attached to that carbon which carries the less number of hydrogen, and hydrogen will be added to that carbon which carries the more number of hydrogen atom. So it will form the 2-chloropropane. So this is according to Markovnikov rule. Now if we see the mechanism, why the Markovnikov rule take place here? Why there is addition of the chlorine on the less carbon carrying less number of hydrogen? Why not the chlorine is attached with this? What is the reason? I told you the Markovnikov rule, but Markovnikov rule is a rule which is made up on the facts. Now what are the facts? So why we have added this molecule in such a manner? So if we see the mechanism, HCl, first hydrolytic cleavage takes place, forms the ions. One is electrophile, the other is nucleophile. Then this alkene, which is unsymmetrical alkene. The electrophile will be added, and there are two possibilities. One is formation of the secondary carbonium ion. The another is there is a formation of a primary carbonium. If I add hydrogen to this, positive charge will be carried by this. If I add hydrogen to this, positive charge on this. So I have taken both the possibility. But this carbonium ion is less stable. This carbonium ion is more stable. So this will be formed. Less stable carbonium ion will not be formed. And when the chlorine negative is added to this carbonium ion, it will form the 2-chloropropane, which is according to the Markovnikov rule. So we can explain why the Markovnikov rule addition takes place. The reason behind it is the formation of carbonium ion on the addition of electrophile forms 2 carbonium ion. One is more stable, the other is less stable. The more stable carbonium ion will add the chlorine negative to form the 2-chloropropane. Now if we want to add the HCl on unsymmetrical alkene anti-Markovnikov rule, then we have to explain in this manner. The unsymmetrical alkene is this one. Addition of HCl, anti-Markovnikov rule. The addition is this one. It will take place only in the presence of peroxide. If there is a peroxide presence, then only then the anti-Markovnikov rule presents. So you must see in the question whether a peroxide is given or not. If peroxide is not given, you have to write the product as according to Markovnikov rule. If peroxide is written, then the addition should be anti-Markovnikov. Now what is the reason? What is the effect of peroxide? So first I will tell you that it is not an electrophilic addition reaction, it is a free radical addition reaction. It is a free radical addition. Because peroxide is this one, which causes the homolytic cleavage, and it forms the free radical. Once the free radical is formed, it is unstable. It will collide with the HCl, and it will cause the formation of again the free radical. Then this free radical will be added to the alkene, and it can form two types of free radical. If the free radical combines with this manner, it will form this free radical, which is unstable. If it combines with the another way, then it will form this free radical, and this free radical is more stable than this, and the addition of hydrogen radical will take place here, and it will form the product, which is anti-Markovnikov. So in free radical addition, this is called chain initiation step. This is called chain propagation step. This is called chain termination step. Chain termination step, two free radical combines to form the product. Chain propagation step, a free radical combined with a molecule to form a product and the free radical. And then it is a chain initiation step. So these are the free radical addition and the nucleophilic addition. No, electrophilic addition. Now I come to the nucleophilic addition reaction, which are shown by the carbonyl group containing compound aldehyde and ketone. This is the carbonyl group. Nucleophile is added to it. Because the electromeric effect, carbon will carry the positive charge and the small negative charge. Nucleophile will attack here, not here. So nucleophile will be added to this, and the negative charge will see. So electromeric effect is a temporary effect. It takes place only in presence of nucleophile. Inductive effect was the permanent effect. This is a temporary effect. And to this, so this product, it is called nucleophilic addition reaction. Now the addition of HCN, addition of sodium bisulfite, addition of ammonia, addition of Grignard reagent. So all these gives the nucleophile. The negatively charged is known as a nucleophile. and the positive charge is known as a electron. Addition of nucleophile to the carbon, and the electrophile will be added to the oxygen. Here also the nucleophile will be added to this. Here I have left here. I have not added sodium positive here or the anything here, because there is a rearrangement take place. Here also the rearrangement takes place. This adds the sodium positive and this product. So it is called cyanohydrin. It is called the crystalline state of the sodium salt of it. It is called the addition of ammonia, and it is called the addition of Grignard reagent. So these are the 4 reactions. When you will read the aldehyde ketone, you will see in the property that it will show the addition reaction, and the addition reaction are shown by this, and this type of addition is take place. So this finishes the addition reaction.